It didn't even break 100,000 players, okay? Do you understand what I'm saying here? The Call of Duty Black Ops 7 free open, literally anybody can play this beta on a weekend, didn't break 100,000 players. Black Ops 7 peaked at 99,500 players on Steam on a Sunday. This is what people aren't understanding, okay? You can be a Call of Duty fan. You can never want to play Battlefield in your life, but you should wish that Battlefield is successful. If Battlefield makes a good game, if Battlefield 6 sells millions of copies, then Call of Duty has to be better. The devs have to make a better game if a competitor is succeeding. For a decade now, Call of Duty has had no competition. Okay, like, let's be honest here. Battlefield 1, I loved it. I think it's one of the best games in the franchise, but it was a World War I game. The nature of World War I just means some people are not going to play it. They want to play modern weapons. They want to see modern vehicles. So Battlefield 1, even though I think it's one of the best, was actually not a competitor to Call of Duty. It didn't even affect their sales at all. I remember seeing a graphic on Reddit, it was like a month or two ago, where it showed the best-selling games in the US for like the past 20 years. And almost every single year was Call of Duty. Even, you guys remember Call of Duty Infinite Warfare had one of the worst thumbs down, disliked videos on YouTube in the history of YouTube, and that still sold the best. The best game was the worst Call of Duty, apparently. That's how much of a stranglehold Call of Duty has had on the players. And finally, we have competition, and the devs are absolutely just scrambling to do something. Today was the test, okay? Everybody was saying, oh, the numbers aren't there because it's a closed beta. You know, you have to have pre-ordered the game in order to play it. Not everyone has access to it. Today was the test to see if that was true. If really the closed aspect of the beta was preventing people from playing it, or it was because Black Ops 7 is not a good product. And today showed us that Call of Duty can't keep phoning it in. They can't keep just reskinning the same game and charging $70 for it. Black Ops 7, if we're being honest here, is Black Ops 6.5. It's not new. The engine looks old. It feels bad. It just is Black Ops 6 with a wall bounce. And the numbers now officially don't lie. Less than 100,000 concurrents for this beta on a weekend, the time where North America and Europe intersected. It's like the perfect time to get your peak Steam concurrent numbers. That is horrible. And what's worse for Call of Duty is that this is going to be the peak for their entire beta. It's not going to get any better than this. The weekend is over. The next week is an open beta, but it's during the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then by the end of the week, Friday, well, that's Battlefield 6. This is the highest the beta is ever going to be, and I think that is an absolute disaster for the Call of Duty devs. This is why we're seeing them actually listen to the player base. I think everyone was surprised when Treyarch dropped that tweet on Saturday that was like, we're going to test something different. Hey, you know skill-based matchmaking? What if we just dial that back a bit? And at this point, SBMM and COD, it's like peanut butter and jelly, right? Whenever you think Call of Duty, you immediately think skill-based matchmaking and how you're just going to be sweating out every single round. SBMM isn't just being in a good lobby and then a bad lobby, it's constantly being put up against players of your equal skill level, so if you don't try hard, you're going to feel bad each and every time. There's never someone that is below you in these lobbies most of the time, and so it's always just going to be try hard. They're always going to make you artificially get that 1.0 KD and that even win-loss ratio. It's exhausting to play against, and years of Call of Duty SBMM has finally broken the player base. So this tweet was kind of mind-blowing. You know sales are bad if the devs are saying, okay, you know what? Let's just turn down SBMM and see what happens. But I do want to reiterate this point. A lot of people saw this tweet, and a lot of people are saying that SBMM has been removed from the game, but it hasn't. SBMM is still in the game. A lot of people think that it's completely removed, but it's just lower on the priority list for matchmaking. If you look at the new open mosh pit playlist, it says in the description here that they're first going to prioritize low ping, and then it's going to try to prioritize wait time. So they don't want you waiting for 2 or 3 minutes to matchmake in Call of Duty anymore. And After all of that, so if you have low ping and if people are ready instantly, then if it needs to, it will also do some skill changes. What this has resulted in for me is that lobbies are low ping, some of the lowest ping I've seen in Call of Duty games. And I don't know if I've waited more than like 20 or 30 seconds to get into a lobby. It feels like it's almost instant from search, which is unheard of. It's really refreshing, to be honest. And I'm going to be the first one to admit that I'm not like the best Call of Duty player, okay? I've been playing exclusively for the past week or so, or now 3 weeks, of Black Ops 6 and now Black Ops 7. But I've been playing exclusively on controller as I transition from mouse and keyboard into controller. It's been great practice for me. But I will say that I get wrecked sometimes just because I'm not used to that input. But even though I get wrecked and even though I'm a new controller player, I'm still having way more fun and I'm having better games in the open mosh pit games. The lobbies, they just feel good. They feel different. You're still going to have those players that absolutely smoke you. There's no way around it, okay? But you're also going to have the players that are at your skill level and then also below your skill level. And when you're being forced into SBMM games, as you have been for years, you're always trying to fight against people of your skill level. There's never that range. It makes the games flow different when you have a range of skills on both sides. You have the sweaty moments, then you have certain parts of the game where you feel like you took advantage of someone else, or you're able to clown on, you know, a three-piece that you never thought you'd be able to see in an SBMM Call of Duty game. It's really refreshing to, in the middle of a game where you're getting wrecked, feel like you outplayed someone and kind of get yourself back into the game. And it feels kind of like what Call of Duty felt 10, 13 years ago. The entire time, the back of my mind is like, why did it take Battlefield being good for Call of Duty to be good? My tinfoil hat theory here is that the SBMM changes were like the easiest low-hanging fruit for the devs to address. With all the negative feedback they've had since Call of Duty Next, they could just point to SBMM and say, you know what? We just have to tweak that. There has been never-ending negative tweets, YouTube videos, streams. Pretty much everyone has been talking about just how bad this game is. And I think this was the way that they could say, we can't change the theme. It's going to be Black Ops. We can't change the maps at this stage. We can't really change the weapons. The campaign is what it is. But we can change matchmaking and we can tweak the biggest problem that we're seeing on social media. If they are able to turn the tide, and now we're seeing, which is blowing my mind, we're seeing players say, oh my God, thank you, Call of Duty. You're listening to us. We're so happy. You finally get it. It's crazy how some people are now praising Treyarch for finally listening to the community. I don't think they're listening at all. This is just damage control at this point. They are seeing the numbers fall through the floor, and they are just doing damage control to do whatever they can to keep people playing the game. I swear, Call of Duty players seem to be in like an abusive relationship with the developers at this point. It shouldn't take the game devs 10 years to finally say, you know what, maybe we should stop taking advantage of our players here. Maybe we should just make a good game. But here we are, right? The way I'm seeing this is that the SBMM changes at the moment, although fun, I'm seeing it as all very performative. Like, if they wanted to make real definitive changes to the game, they would say right out the gate that we're just going to remove or use this reduced SBMM playlist for the base game. We're going to make it for everyone. We're going to force everyone to use it because right now, this playlist is opt-in. And the moment that this went live, I mean, we saw all the sweaty players on Twitch, on YouTube, on Twitter. They immediately started dropping nukes. I think I saw someone got like 8 nuke lobbies back to back to back. So yeah, the people downloading the beta and just being able to play for a couple hours are probably watching all this stuff on social media, on their YouTube, and they're saying, okay, I mean, this is cool, but I'm not going to join that. I only have a couple hours. I don't like SBMM, but it's all I know. So I will begrudgingly do that because I just don't want to end up in someone's YouTube farm lobby. Like, I just want to play. But I still am going to say, as someone with the medium to lower skill level on controller, that I'm still having way more fun in these open mosh pit reduced SBMM lobbies than the SBMM regular Call of Duty lobbies. No joke, after I was playing this, and I feel weird even admitting it, but I finished playing Call of Duty Black Ops 7 last night, the open mosh pit, and I kind of wanted to go back and play more. I was having fun, and that feels very odd to say that I was having fun playing Call of Duty, but it felt like the mid-2010s. I felt like I was back in those type of lobbies. The pessimist in me, though, thinks that the devs will take all this data from the beta, and they will say, well, far fewer people played the open mosh pit, so thank you all for testing, thank you for your feedback, but we're going to be keeping SBMM because that's the way Call of Duty is meant to be played. That's the way you want to play Call of Duty. I think if there isn't this open playlist on release and SBMM stays how it is, then Black Ops 7 is deader than dead, okay? No one's going to play it. But I do think that if they have this second playlist, there is a chance that some of the player base comes back. It might just turn into this sweaty game mode though, but I do think that if they really take a hard look at themselves and they just go all in and make this testing playlist the default Call of Duty Black Ops 7 experience for multiplayer, the game will unironically be back. Like, now we can break out the T-Dog gif. The setting is reused. People are going to get kind of burned out from Black Ops, but people are going to come back to play non-SBMM Call of Duty. That is the selling point now. The engine is old. Everything looks and feels old at this point, but I'm telling you, the lobbies, without this SBMM amped up and turned up to 11, it felt good. It felt like old school Call of Duty. Now, I know some people are going to see this and be like, Moi, what is wrong with you? Are you a Call of Duty shill? I'm like the least Call of Duty shill. I think the last time I really played Call of Duty was back in 2013, 2014, maybe. I mean, I really hard swapped to Battlefield and even World of Warcraft at that point. So I think if you're watching this as a Battlefield fan, if you're seeing everything unfold, I think the worst thing you can do is hope that Black Ops 7 fails. You don't have to play it. Like, if you don't like that type of gameplay, then don't play it. But if the devs actually do listen, if Call of Duty and Treyarch says, hey, we need to make some big changes. If they do come out of this beta with a few chips on their shoulder and they make some massive moves, or maybe even if they don't make the moves for Black Ops 7, but they go behind the scenes and make the moves for the next Call of Duty, then I think that means that Battlefield also can't be comfortable. I think that also means that... Has my cat been there the entire time? Right when I said Battlefield can't be comfortable, my cat also couldn't be comfortable. Now, I'm always going to meme about the Call of Duty and Battlefield wars. I think it's kind of fun having a side at times and saying, oh, Battlefield's better, or oh, Call of Duty's better at this. There's some fun in that. It's just kind of playful jabbing at each other, right? But I do seriously think that whichever side you do fall on, whichever game you do prefer, competition and seeing the other game be good is always going to be better. It always makes for better games for us, and we are quite literally seeing the results of that in real time as Treyarch just scrambles to figure out what they're doing with Black Ops 7. Now, I know a few days ago I said that I don't think this game was worth $70. I said Black Ops 7 was a disaster, save your money. And I will still say that. Yeah, I stand by it. It's insane to charge $70 for whatever this product is, but I will also say this caveat. If you used to play Call of Duty before the SBMM, if you used to like multiplayer lobbies of Call of Duty back in the day, and you have the time to install Call of Duty HQ and to play the beta, it's free for everyone for a couple days, you should actually check it out. It is fun playing in these reduced SBMM lobbies. It feels like old school Call of Duty. It's fun. It feels weird saying that. I'm not trying to shill the game or anything, but I'm also not just going to flat out lie and keep spouting like the same nonsense that is popular on Twitter because it's going to get me better clicks. I genuinely think it's pretty fun. It's not $70 fun, but it's free beta. Check it out and see if you like it fun. So what do you guys think? Is Call of Duty saved? Is Black Ops 7 going to actually have a chance with this reduced SBMM? Or do you not even care because Battlefield 6 releases in a few days? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.